Hello everyone, this is your friend Naruto Fix, and we are back with another epic What If Naruto fanfic. Which is, what if Naruto chose another girl after breaking up with Hinata, Part 2. If you love Naruto fanfics, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the journey with me. So, let's start the fanfic. Naruto's life had taken a new turn after his breakup with Hinata. The memories of their time together still lingered, but he knew he couldn't let them hold him back. His heart felt a strange emptiness, a quiet ache that reminded him every day that change was inevitable. Yet Naruto had never been the type to dwell on the past for too long. He knew life was waiting with new experiences, challenges, and perhaps, new connections. That connection arrived in the form of Ayami, a skilled kunoichi who had recently transferred to Konoha. She was sharp, confident, and full of energy, a personality that immediately intrigued Naruto. Unlike anyone he had known before, Ayami seemed to understand him intuitively, sensing his inner struggles without needing explanations. Their first encounter was by chance during a training session in the village. Naruto had been practicing his shadow clones when he noticed Ayami effortlessly dodging attacks and countering with precise strikes. Her movements were fluid, yet calculated, and Naruto couldn't help but admire her skills. "Hey, you're pretty good," he said, panting slightly as he approached her. Ayami smirked, "I could say the same about you. But don't get too cocky, blondie. There's more to ninjutsu than just raw energy." Naruto laughed, a little embarrassed but fascinated. Something about her confidence was different. It wasn't intimidating. It was motivating. A few days later, an unexpected situation brought them closer. During a training exercise in a remote part of the forest, a sudden downpour forced them to take shelter in a small cave. For the first time, they found themselves alone together, away from the familiar sights and sounds of Konoha. "Looks like we're stuck here for a while," Ayami said, her tone light, though her eyes were curious. Naruto scratched the back of his head, smiling nervously. "Yeah, guess it's just you and me." They sat in silence for a few moments, listening to the rain patter against the rocks. Slowly, the tension eased, and a natural conversation flowed between them, about missions, training, and small, persona anecdotes. Naruto realized that being around Ayami felt easy, refreshing, and exciting in a way he hadn't felt since before his relationship with Hinata. Over the next few weeks, Naruto and Ayami's friendship grew rapidly. She shared her secret training spots, showing him techniques and strategies he hadn't considered before. Naruto, in turn, introduced her to some of his signature moves, and they began to challenge each other in ways that pushed them both to their limits. But with every moment of closeness came reminders of the past. Memories of Hinata would occasionally creep in, haunting him, making him question whether he was ready to move on. Yet Ayami's presence was different. She wasn't just filling a gap. She was opening doors to new possibilities, new emotions, and a different kind of connection. Konoha's friends noticed the change immediately. Sakura teased him playfully one afternoon, "You've been acting different lately. Someone new catching your attention." Naruto blushed, rubbing the back of his neck. "It's nothing, just training, I guess." Meanwhile, Sasuke's return to the village added another layer of tension. Naruto realized that Ayami's past was complex, too. She had her own burdens and responsibilities, things she rarely shared. He decided to give her the patience and understanding that she needed, just as he had always done for those he cared about. One night, after an exhausting day of training, Ayami looked at Naruto thoughtfully. "You've always seen the world in black and white, haven't you? But there's more to life than that. Colors, shades, and each one matters." Naruto was silent for a moment, realizing the truth in her words. Ayami wasn't just teaching him new techniques, she was teaching him a new perspective, a new way to experience life. Then came an unexpected encounter with Hinata. She approached him cautiously, her eyes full of emotion. "Naruto, I just want you to be happy. If I've hurt you in any way, I'm sorry." Naruto's heart skipped a beat, memories flooding back. But Ayami's calming presence reminded him that he had moved forward. "Hinata, you'll always be important to me, but my life is entering a new chapter," he said gently. Hinata nodded, a bittersweet smile on her face. "I understand, Naruto. Just be happy. This encounter clarified Naruto's feelings. Hinata would always have a place in his heart, but Ayami represented the future, a future filled with trust, partnership, and perhaps something more than friendship. Not long after, Konoha elders assigned him a high-stakes mission involving a mysterious rogue ninja clan. This mission would test their coordination, trust, and growing bond. During the operation, Ayami's strategic mind and Naruto's instincts aligned perfectly. At a critical moment, Ayami was in danger, and Naruto instinctively leapt to protect her, an act that spoke louder than any words. That night, sitting by the campfire, Ayami spoke softly, "Naruto, today, you didn't just protect the mission. You protected me. That means more than you know." Naruto gave a small, shy smile. "I guess, we're more than just teammates now." Quote, for the first time, Naruto realized he could truly move forward. With Ayami, he wasn't running from the past, he was embracing the present and whatever the future held. The next few days of the mission pushed Naruto and Ayami to their limits. They moved through dense forests, navigated treacherous terrain, and faced multiple rogue ninja ambushes. Every encounter tested not only their fighting skills but also the unspoken understanding growing between them. At one point, they found themselves trapped on a narrow cliffside during a sudden landslide. Naruto grabbed Ayami's hand instinctively, pulling her to safety. They both tumbled onto a ledge below, hearts racing and clothes muddied. "You okay?" Naruto panted, his chest heaving. Ayami looked at him, her hair plastered to her face from the rain. For a brief moment, words weren't necessary, they both knew how much trust had been placed in each other. "Thanks to you," she said softly, giving him a small smile. That small smile sent a jolt through Naruto's chest. He had felt admiration before, even for Hinata, but this was different. There was a thrill, a connection that made his heart beat faster in a way he didn't expect. As night fell, they set up a small camp. The fire crackled, casting shadows across their faces. Ayami seemed unusually quiet, her gaze fixed on the flames. Naruto watched her, curiosity mixed with concern. "Something on your mind?" he asked. Ayami looked up, her eyes reflecting both determination and vulnerability. "Naruto, I've been through a lot before coming to Konoha. Trust doesn't come easily for me. But, I feel like I can trust you." Naruto felt warmth spread through his chest. He knew exactly what it meant to take a chance on someone despite past pain. "I feel the same," he admitted. "Being with you, it feels right." Quote, their conversation was interrupted by the sound of footsteps approaching. Instantly alert, Naruto grabbed his kunai and Ayami followed suit. A rogue ninja emerged from the shadows, but before the fight could escalate, Naruto and Ayami moved in perfect synchronization, neutralizing the threat without a single word spoken between them. After the battle, Naruto couldn't help but glance at Ayami. Her eyes sparkled with determination, but there was also something softer there, a hint of admiration directed at him. "You're incredible," he said quietly. She smirked, brushing a strand of wet hair from her face. "You're not so bad yourself. Maybe, together, we could be unstoppable." Naruto's heart skipped a beat. The thought of being with her, not just as a teammate but as someone who understood him completely, was intoxicating. He realized that moving on from Hinata didn't mean forgetting her, it meant finding someone new who could walk beside him in the present. The mission continued over the next few days. Naruto and Ayami faced increasingly dangerous challenges, each one forcing them to rely on each other more than ever. Every near-death encounter, every strategic maneuver, and every quiet moment between battles strengthened the bond they shared. One evening, after successfully completing a particularly difficult mission objective, they finally allowed themselves a moment of respite. Sitting atop a hill overlooking the village, the sun setting behind them, Naruto broke the silence. "Ayami, I know we've both been through a lot. But, being with you, I feel like I can finally breathe," he said, voice low but sincere. Ayami turned to him, her eyes softening. "Naruto, I've felt the same way. You make me want to believe in the future, in possibilities I thought I'd lost." For the first time since his breakup with Hinata, Naruto felt a sense of clarity. The past still had its place, but the present, this new connection with Ayami, was where his heart truly belonged. As night fell, they camped under the stars, sharing stories of their past and hopes for the future. Naruto realized that with Ayami, he was not just surviving the challenges of life, he was thriving, learning, and growing in ways he had never imagined. But even as their bond deepened, Naruto knew that challenges were far from over. The rogue ninja clan had not yet revealed the true intentions, and Konoha's safety still depended on their teamwork. Yet Naruto felt ready. With Ayami by his side, he knew he could face whatever came next, not just as a shinobi, but as someone willing to embrace both the adventure and the feelings that came with it. The days that followed were some of the most intense Naruto had ever experienced. Each mission sent him and Ayami deeper into dangerous territory, forcing them to trust each other completely. Every movement, every decision, every instinct was critical, and the growing bond became a lifeline. One morning, the two were scouting a mountainous region where intelligence suggested the rogue ninja clan had hidden their base. The wind was sharp and biting, the mist thick, making visibility poor. Naruto adjusted his headband, glancing at Ayami, who was moving silently beside him. "You've gotten stronger since we first met," Ayami said, her voice breaking the quiet tension. Naruto smiled slightly. "Not as strong as you. But I'm learning, from the best." Ayami's lips twitched into a small, rare smile. "Good. You'll need that strength soon." As they ascended a cliff, a sudden tremor shook the ground. Rocks dislodged from the mountain, rolling toward them. In a split second, Naruto grabbed Ayami and pushed her behind him, narrowly avoiding being hit by debris himself. "Thanks," Ayami whispered, catching her breath. Naruto shook his head, his heart racing. "You don't have to thank me. We watch each other's backs, right?" It was moments like this that made Naruto realize how deeply he was starting to care for her. It wasn't just admiration or friendship, it was something more intense, more urgent. Ayami was no longer just a teammate, she had become a part of his life he didn't want to lose. They finally reached a hidden entrance to a cave system the rogue clan was using. Naruto's eyes narrowed. "Looks like this is it." Quote. Ayami nodded. "Stay sharp. We don't know how many of them are inside." Together, they infiltrated the cave. The air was damp and heavy, the shadows long and ominous. Every step was careful, silent, but the tension was palpable. Then, suddenly, a group of rogue ninjas appeared from the darkness. Naruto and Ayami moved instinctively, covering each other with precise movements. Ayami's strategy complemented Naruto's raw power perfectly. Shadow clones distracted enemies while Ayami used her precise strikes to disarm and incapacitate them. After the skirmish, they paused, leaning against the damp cave walls, breathing heavily. "You're incredible," Naruto said, genuinely impressed. "I can't believe how well we work together." Ayami smirked. "It's easier when your partner isn't reckless." Naruto laughed, a short, breathy sound that echoed in the cave. "I can be careful, sometimes." Quote. They continued deeper into the cave, encountering traps and hidden passages. At one point, Naruto spotted a trigger on the floor. "Step carefully," he warned Ayami. Ayami crouched low, examining the trap. "I've got it. Follow my lead." Their teamwork was flawless. Every step, every movement, every decision flowed seamlessly between them. Naruto felt a surge of pride, not just in his abilities, but in the trust and connection he had with Ayami. Finally, they reached a large chamber at the heart of the cave. In the center stood the leader of the rogue clan, a tall, imposing figure cloaked in black, chakra swirling visibly around him. "You two are far braver than I expected," the rogue leader said, his voice cold. "But bravery alone won't save you." Naruto's eyes narrowed. "We'll see about that." Ayami placed a hand on his shoulder. "Naruto, together." The leader lunged at him, and the battle erupted. Naruto and Ayami moved as one, their coordination flawless. Every strike Naruto made was complemented by Ayami's precision. Every defensive maneuver Ayami executed was reinforced by Naruto's raw power. During a critical moment, Ayami was knocked off balance, falling toward a spike trap. Without hesitation, Naruto leapt, catching her mid-air. They landed in a heap on the ground, breathing heavily, hearts pounding, not just from the fight, but from the closeness of the moment. You're impossible, Ayami exclaimed, pushing him lightly, but her voice had a soft undertone. Naruto smiled, brushing mud from his clothes. And you're amazing. Couldn't let anything happen to you. That moment lingered longer than either expected. Neither spoke immediately, both aware of the unspoken feelings growing between them. The fight wasn't over, but something inside Naruto had shifted. This wasn't just a mission anymore. This was about protecting someone who mattered in a way he hadn't felt in years. The rogue leader recovered and charged at them with a ferocity that made Naruto's stomach tighten. I won't let you leave here alive. Naruto glanced at Ayami. Ready, always, she replied. Together, they launched a combination attack that showcased months of training, mutual trust, and growing intimacy. Ayami's precise chakra strikes amplified Naruto's Rasengan, creating a powerful explosion that sent the rogue leader sprawling. He struggled to get up, but the combined pressure of their teamwork left him no chance. Finally, the chamber fell silent. The rogue leader lay defeated, and the rest of his clan had fled. Naruto and Ayami, exhausted and battered, slumped against the cave wall. Naruto looked at her, breathless. We did it. Ayami's lips curled into a tired smile. Yeah, together. For the first time, Naruto allowed himself to truly feel the depth of his emotions. Ayami wasn't just a friend, a teammate, or a training partner. She was someone who challenged him, supported him, and understood him in a way Hinata never had. The past didn't vanish, but it no longer controlled him. As they made their way back to Konoha, the stars began to twinkle in the night sky. Naruto glanced at Ayami, his heart full. You know, I think this is the start of something real. Ayami's eyes softened. I feel the same, Naruto. Something neither of us expected. The silence between them was comfortable, filled with unspoken understanding. They didn't need words to acknowledge what had begun. Whatever the future held, more missions, more battles, more challenges, they would face it together. And for Naruto, that was more than enough. Back in Konoha, Naruto and Ayami returned as heroes. Their successful mission against the rogue ninja clan had not only safeguarded the village but also demonstrated the remarkable synergy between the two. Yet, despite the accolades and praise, Naruto's mind was elsewhere. He couldn't stop thinking about Ayami, not just as a partner in combat, but as someone who had slowly become indispensable to him. Training resumed the next morning, but it no longer felt routine. Each shadow clone, each Rasengan practice, carried a subtle tension, a mix of anticipation, unspoken feelings, and a desire to impress one another. Ayami, as always, pushed Naruto harder than anyone else could. She would critique his stance, correct his chakra flow, or challenge him to anticipate her attacks. You're improving, she said one afternoon, panting after a sparring session. But you still hesitate sometimes. Trust yourself more. Naruto wiped sweat from his forehead, smiling sheepishly. I'm trying, but you make it hard not to hesitate when you're watching me like that. Quote. Ayami raised an eyebrow, clearly intrigued by his confession. Watching you. Is that supposed to be a compliment or a complaint? Both, Naruto admitted, scratching the back of his head. I mean, you're just intense. But I like it. Ayami's lips twitched into a smirk, and for a moment, the world felt lighter. In that brief exchange, Naruto realized that their bond had moved far beyond simple camaraderie. There was laughter, trust, and a subtle, electric tension that neither of them could ignore. But life in Konoha was rarely peaceful for long. A new intelligence report suggested that remnants of the rogue ninja clan were regrouping outside the village. Naruto and Ayami were immediately assigned to investigate and neutralize the threat. They set out at dawn, the morning fog curling around the village outskirts like a shroud. Both were silent at first, each absorbed in thoughts about the upcoming mission. Finally, Ayami broke the silence. You know, she said quietly, I never expected to find someone like you in Konoha. Naruto glanced at her, surprised. Like me? What do you mean? Ayami's gaze softened, almost vulnerable. Someone who understands. Someone I can trust. Someone who pushes me without holding back. Naruto's chest tightened. He knew exactly what she meant. It wasn't just physical strength or skill, it was the emotional connection, the silent support, the feeling that someone was truly there for you. As they ventured further from the village, the terrain became rougher, and the air heavier with tension. Trees were felled in unnatural patterns, and tracks suggested the rogue ninja were aware of their approach. Naruto's instincts screamed that danger was imminent. Suddenly, from the shadows, a group of masked ninja ambushed them. Naruto and Ayami reacted instantly, moving in perfect synchronization. Shadow clones created diversions while Ayami struck with pinpoint precision. The battle was fierce and unrelenting, each second demanding total focus. During the chaos, one ninja managed to break through and lunged at Ayami from behind. Naruto spun just in time, intercepting the attack with his kunai. Their eyes met for a brief moment, a flash of mutual understanding and concern, before they returned to fighting as one. Hours passed in a blur of strikes, dodges, and chakra techniques. Fatigue began to set in, but neither could afford to falter. Finally, they cornered the last of the rogue ninjas in a narrow canyon. Naruto's Rasengan collided with Ayami's chakra-enhanced shuriken, creating a spectacular explosion that incapacitated their enemies. Breathing heavily, Naruto collapsed against a rock. "We did it," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Ayami lowered herself beside him, equally exhausted. "Yeah, together," she replied. The silence that followed was different from the usual camaraderie. It was deeper, more intimate. In that moment, Naruto understood that Ayami wasn't just a fleeting presence, she was someone who had become central to his world. The battles, the missions, the training, they had all brought them closer, forging a bond stronger than he had ever imagined. As they rested, the conversation shifted to the personal. Naruto spoke quietly about his past, about Hinata, and about the loneliness he had felt before Ayami entered his life. Ayami listened, her hand brushing his arm gently, a silent gesture of understanding and support. "You've been carrying so much," she said softly. "But you're not alone anymore. Not with me here." Naruto's heart raced. Her words weren't just comforting, they were grounding. For the first time since his breakup, he felt that moving on didn't mean forgetting Hinata. It meant embracing a new chapter with someone who truly understood him. The journey back to Konoha was quiet, filled with stolen glances and subtle touches that spoke louder than words. Naruto realized that their partnership had evolved into something undeniable, a mixture of trust, respect, and burgeoning romantic feelings. Back in the village, their return was met with celebration. Fellow shinobi praised their skill and courage, but Naruto's attention remained on Ayami. He saw her not as a partner in missions, but as someone who had become indispensable in his life. That evening, they trained one last time before heading home. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Naruto and Ayami sparred lightly, each movement carrying an undercurrent of playful challenge and mutual admiration. Finally, they collapsed onto the grass, staring up at the stars. Naruto turned to Ayami, his voice quiet but earnest. "You know, I think I've realized something. Being with you, it feels right. More than anything else ever has." Quote. Ayami looked at him, her eyes reflecting the fading light. "I feel the same, Naruto. You've changed something in me. Made me believe in trust again, in possibilities I thought were gone." Naruto's chest tightened with emotion. He had spent so long trapped between past regrets and future uncertainties, but now, with Ayami by his side, he felt clarity. The past would always exist, but it no longer dictated his heart. As the night deepened, they sat in silence, letting the stars bear witness to the unspoken connection growing between them. They didn't need words. Every glance, every subtle movement, every quiet moment spoke volumes. For Naruto, this was the start of a future he could finally embrace, a future with Ayami, filled with trust, partnership, and perhaps something more profound than he had ever imagined. And yet, in the back of his mind, he knew life would continue to test them. New threats, new challenges, and the ever-present shadows of the past would demand more than just skill, they would demand courage, patience, and the strength of the bond he was forming with Ayami. But Naruto was ready. With her by his side, he knew that no obstacle, physical or emotional, could stand in the way of what they were beginning to build together. The following days were intense, filled with missions and training, yet each moment spent with Ayami carried an unspoken weight, one that Naruto could feel pressing against his chest, both thrilling and terrifying. Their connection had grown stronger than ever, yet the vulnerability of their closeness lingered, unspoken, between them. One evening, after a particularly grueling day of patrols near Konoha's borders, they returned to the village exhausted. Naruto noticed Ayami's eyes distant, thoughtful, as they walked through the quiet streets. "Everything okay?" he asked softly, falling into step beside her. Ayami paused, glancing at him. "I'm fine, just thinking about the missions, the threats, and everything that's happened lately." Naruto nodded. "Yeah, me too. Sometimes it's hard to focus on anything else when your mind keeps drifting." Quote, she gave a small, almost imperceptible smile. "Exactly, but some thoughts are worth holding on to." Naruto felt a flutter in his chest. He understood what she meant, and he realized that the bond between them wasn't just about missions or survival, it was about trust, understanding, and a growing emotional intimacy he hadn't anticipated. The next morning, they trained in a secluded clearing outside the village. Naruto pushed himself harder than ever, each movement influenced by Ayami's presence. She was relentless, challenging him physically and mentally, but he welcomed it. Every strike, every dodge, every Rasengan practice carried an energy he hadn't experienced before. At one point, Ayami landed a perfect counter to his attack, sending him tumbling onto the ground. Naruto groaned, brushing dirt from his clothes. "Not bad," he admitted, smiling despite the pain. "But I'll get you next time." Ayami laughed, the sound light and musical, yet tinged with something deeper, something that made Naruto's heart skip. "We'll see about that. You've improved a lot, Naruto, more than I expected." After training, they sat beneath a large oak tree, the sun warming their backs. Naruto felt the urge to speak, to say what had been building in his chest for weeks. "Ayami, I've been thinking," he began, his voice tentative. "About everything, Hinata, the past, and us. I know I've been slow to realize it, but being with you feels right. More than right. It feels like home." Quote, Ayami's eyes softened, and she leaned back, letting her hair fall over her shoulders. "Naruto, I've felt the same way. I didn't expect it either, but you've made me believe in something I thought I'd lost." Quote, Naruto's heart raced. He had been careful, hesitant, afraid of crossing the invisible line between trust and something more. But hearing her say those words, seeing the sincerity in her eyes, shattered that fear. Before he could think further, a messenger from Konoha arrived, breathless and urgent. "Naruto, Ayami, there's trouble near the outskirts. Rogue ninjas, possibly connected to the clan you just defeated, are attacking civilians." Quote, Naruto jumped to his feet, instinctively grabbing his kunai. Ayami was already moving, eyes blazing with determination. "Let's go," she said. The journey to the outskirts was tense. The air was thick with smoke and the distant cries of villagers. Naruto and Ayami approached carefully, scanning for threats. They spotted the rogue ninjas, 10, maybe 12, terrorizing a small village. Naruto's eyes narrowed. "We can't let them hurt anyone." Ayami nodded. "We handle this together." "Ready, always," Naruto replied. The battle erupted with chaos and intensity. Naruto used shadow clones to distract and divide the enemies, while Ayami struck with precision and deadly efficiency. They moved seamlessly, covering each other's weaknesses, anticipating every attack. At one point, a rogue ninja lunged at Ayami from behind. Naruto, without thinking, intervened, blocking the attack with his body. Ayami staggered back, surprised, but Naruto's expression was serious. "I've got you," he said, his voice low and firm. For a moment, the world seemed to freeze. Ayami looked into his eyes and saw not just determination but a vulnerability, a willingness to protect her at any cost. Naruto realized that his feelings had evolved into something undeniable, something he could no longer ignore. The battle raged on, with Naruto and Ayami fighting back to back, their movements perfectly synchronized. Every exchange of blows, every dodge, every combined attack deepened their connection. By the time the last rogue ninja was incapacitated, Both were panting, covered in cuts and dirt, yet victorious. As they stood amidst the aftermath, Naruto looked at Ayami. "We did it, together." Ayami gave a tired but genuine smile. "Yeah, together." The adrenaline faded, leaving space for something more personal. Naruto took a deep breath, stepping closer. "Ayami, I don't want to hide it anymore. I care about you, more than I've ever cared about anyone." Ayami's eyes widened slightly, then softened. She reached out, placing her hand over his. "Naruto, I care about you too. I have for a while now, but I wasn't sure if you felt the same." Quote, Naruto's chest tightened. "I do. And I don't want to waste any more time pretending otherwise." The moment hung between them, charged with unspoken emotion. Then, slowly, Ayami leaned closer, resting her forehead against his. Naruto closed his eyes, feeling the warmth and weight of the moment. For the first time in years, he felt whole. Not because the past was gone, but because the future was here, with her. They pulled back slightly, smiling at each other, a mixture of relief, excitement, and anticipation filling the pace between them. "We'll face everything together," Naruto said softly. Ayami nodded, squeezing his hand. "Together, no matter what." The night air carried the scent of pine and earth, the stars above shining like witnesses to their newfound bond. Naruto knew that challenges would continue to come, rogue ninjas, village responsibilities, and the lingering echoes of the past, but he felt ready. With Ayami by his side, he could face anything. As they walked back to Konoha, side by side, there was a lightness to their steps, a sense of hope and anticipation. For Naruto, this was more than a new chapter, it was a beginning. The past had shaped him, but it no longer defined him. Now, with Ayami, he was free to build something real, something lasting. And deep down, Naruto knew one thing for certain, he had chosen wisely. Ayami wasn't just a partner, a teammate, or a friend. She was his equal, his anchor, and perhaps, in time, his love. If you enjoy this fanfic then please like and subscribe my channel Narutofix 11. Thank you guys.